Evan, thank you very much for the introduction. I really appreciate it, and great to be here with all of you today. I'm really excited. We're going to talk about the future of financial advice and really about how we can use technology to fix our relationship with money while serving our communities. And as you can see here from the first screen of my presentation, this is me on a recent trip to Cape Town, South Africa. And what's so fun about this is that I met these folks because of technology. And I think at the end of the day, this just goes to show about the beautiful things that technology can do for us and how it actually can enhance human connection. So it's my belief that in the future, technology will enhance the human element and connection, not replace it. And the future is today. So what does the future of financial advice look like? Well, we're looking toward a client-driven future. Consumers are demanding a personalized financial guidance experience that aligns with their values, their hopes, their dreams, their goals, and so forth. They're also looking for strong client-advisor relationships that are built on more than just geolocation, but on shared values, shared commonalities, shared beliefs, and so forth. And the future, which is happening today, is that technology is actually helping bridge this gap faster and arguably deeper than we've ever been able to do it before. And how does this affect advisors especially? Well, advisors, financial professionals, the list goes on, really need to embrace this client-centric model because this is what they're looking for. This is the shift that is happening around the world, actually. And I refer to this, I actually published this with a couple other great thought leaders, but there's this thing we're calling the evolution of financial advice. And we've moved basically from what you could refer to as like a 1.0 up to a 3.0 financial advice. And what I love about this graphic here in this pyramid is that you can see here that most of us have started in the financial advice 1.0 area where we're getting things done. We're helping people solve their problems, purchase a product or service, alleviate some pain points, and so forth. But what's happened is that over time, due to some shift in advisor, I would say education and desires, but also really what is the consumers are looking for, is we moved over to more of what's called financial advice 2.0, which is looking a little bit more at, I don't know if we could say fully comprehensive planning, but definitely getting a lot closer to it. And we're digging into more of the emotional sides of the money and not just talking about what product to purchase to solve problem X, Y, or Z. And this has been a shift where I think a lot of advisors have moved into. And what's happening is that we're actually moving into financial advice 3.0 now, which is a much more comprehensive, deeper relationship that's focused all around what's really referred to as advice engagement, where we are using technology to help us get things done, and I'll get into that in a moment, that actually allows us to spend more time with our clients, to have deeper conversations, to better understand their hopes, dreams, and goals, and so forth. And ultimately, as we go through this pyramid or this progression, if you will, we have a better social impact. We are helping people get things done, but we're having a better understanding of why they want to get them done. And that means our solutions and the advice that we give also advance or get better. So one of the issues, though, if you will, is that we have this client-centric model. We have this shift from 1.0 to 3.0. But finding an advisor, finding a financial professional to help us, which is really important cornerstone to that whole pyramid I showed you, well, it's not that easy. Finding an advisor is actually a lot like dating. Where do we find the right one for us? Do we share similar interests, hobbies, and so forth? Is it going to be a long-term relationship or just a transaction? And so we know that money is personal. And we also know that birds of a feather flock together, and that ultimately trust and rapport are built when we connect with people on these deeper levels. And let's face it, because money is so personal, we're not going to just open up with anybody and share our financial skeletons. And so we have to figure out a better way to help people make that initial connection point, if you will. And this actually is feeding into a bit of what I refer to as a global problem. Now, as you can see here, we can really dig into this, but ultimately, it's my belief that our relationship with money is broken. And let's dig into this a little bit now. So, consumers. Why is it broken for consumers? Well, as we just talked about, consumers are looking for more engaging, deeper conversation, more meaningful relationship with an advisor around their money. They are attaching a lot more of their hopes, dreams, and goals to their money. And what I refer to is like they have a stronger meaning behind the money. And that meaning maybe has always been there, but we are much more self-aware now than we ever have been. But what the challenge is that there's this lack of personalization. There's this lack of control around the whole consumer experience when we're trying to actually get help with our money. And when that experience is broken, when the consumer doesn't feel like it's a trusting process, they lose control, it's not really personalized for them, well, then that by default creates a bad situation for financial professionals. You know, there's a lot of us around the world that are looking to serve clients. And I myself, I'm a certified financial planner. I've been an advisor for 19 years now. And I know just how hard it is to acquire a new client. I didn't start off with gray hair. It's really a challenging aspect of our jobs. And let's face it, most of us became advisors because we wanted to help people with their money. We didn't want to have to worry about prospecting and marketing and all of these things. And so we've got a very high cost of client acquisition. And when we have that, it puts a lot of strain on us as advisors to succeed. And in fact, there's some statistics out there that say about 9 out of 10 advisors actually fail within the first 3 years. So when we have a bad experience for consumers, a bad experience for advisors, the firms that we represent as advisors also have a lot of challenges, from advisor retention and hiring to product and services not staying on the books and so forth. And so when you put all this together, ultimately our relationship with money is broken. And this is where we have technology to actually help us. Well, what happens when we don't have a good relationship with money? Well, as you can see here, bad things can happen. When we don't have a good relationship with our money, things like poverty, higher rates of divorce, higher levels of stress, not being able to send the kids to school, buy a home, retire, change careers, the list goes on. There's so many things that I'm sure that you could think of now. It's a real challenge. And this, I believe, it's all because of the root of not really understanding our money and how it is a tool and connecting it to the things that are important to us in life. So I do believe there's a solution. Technology is definitely involved. That's why we're here talking about this today. And I want to share more about how we are actually trying to tackle this problem and what we think about it over at my company called Coupler. So our vision is that everyone in the world should have access to personalized financial guidance and advice, human guidance and advice. And it's our mission that Coupler is going to be the technology powering this access on a global scale to help people achieve financial harmony. As we talked about before, this is dovetailing in right into what the consumer, the client-centric experience is expecting and turning into. Now, what happens when we do have really good financial guidance, advice, and ultimately a better relationship with our money? Well, great things can happen. We have financial stability. We can sleep and not worry about money. We can have deeper and more meaningful relationships with our spouses, our kids, our communities, and so forth. Our levels of stress are actually reduced because we're not always thinking about money and what we're going to do. Also, more opportunities can come out of this when we make good financial decisions. We're able to actually capitalize on good decisions we've made and plan for great opportunities in the future. And this drives a lot of happiness, which ultimately is going to have great societal and community benefits about just uplifting everybody. And so how do you do this? Well, it's our belief that we need to focus on what I refer to as the human element to fix our relationship with money. Well, how? How exactly? Well, we know, as we've talked about already today, money is personal. And at the end of the day, when the cost of making a mistake with our money, with making a bad financial decision is really high, we may use technology initially to do some research and so forth, but ultimately, we're going to want to run this by a human advisor, somebody that can empathize with us, that understands us, that can have a deeper connection. And we know that when that happens, we're going to feel better about the decisions we've made because we've been educated, we've been able to discuss it out, figure out exactly what is the right path. And so how do we do that? Well, we believe that it's important to match clients, people looking for help with their money, with the right advisors for them based on a variety of human and financial dimensions, and then connect them at the right time and place for those right reasons. And when we do that, we can drive personalized outcomes that clients want. And so I'll show you an example here in a moment, but when we do this, when we focus on this human element, consumers now have a highly personalized experience that they are in control of and feel really good about. That helps financial professionals because now they have warm inbound leads that actually want to work with them, which means advisors have more time to spend on actually working with their clients versus trying to do all the marketing and prospecting and so forth that has to happen. And by default, when we fix these two aspects of our relationship with money, the firms that sell the products and services and so forth out there ultimately benefit. So here's an example of the solution. Some of you may recognize this company. This is Liberty in South Africa. Our solution, Coupler AI, it's a white label technology that actually matches warm consumer traffic in real time with the right advisors for them at a particular institution. And you can see here's a quick user journey of how this works, but it's all consumer driven. They get matched based upon shared commonalities, personality traits, preferences, and so forth, which is so much more meaningful. And we know this from countless data points and research done on human psychology, behavioral psychology, why people connect with each other, what's the basis for interpersonal trust and so forth. And so we wanted to create an experience and solution where AI and great technology can actually enhance the human connection. And that's what we're doing here, as you can see, while leveraging our partners' brands in the process. And what happens is that people now are in control. Consumers are in control of this experience and know that they are getting matched on more than just what their postal code is and how much money they have. There's actually a lot more meaning behind the money, which goes all the way back to this move towards financial advice 3.0 and deeper relationships, deeper conversations, and so forth with their advisors. So what makes Coupler a little bit different than the competition? I think it's important to understand this because this is part of our actual value add. We are a white label solution. This is really important from a brand and marketing aspect, of course, for our partners, but also from a psychological aspect. If I'm a consumer looking for help with my money and I arrive on company XYZ's website, I probably got there because I'm familiar with that brand one way or another, and there's a little bit of trust already. And the last thing we want to do is introduce some foreign name or brand that's unknown into this user journey where a consumer is already looking for reasons to go away. So we want to be an extension of our partners' brands, and in doing so, we create this safe space, if you will, where consumers feel a lot better about the entire experience. We're using smart matching technology. As I said before, we're not matching just on geolocation and how much money you make, but much deeper human elements. Again, shared commonalities, experiences, preferences, personality traits. Are we dog or cat people? Things of this nature. Because we know that when we are able to connect on these different human elements, that we can form rapport and ultimately trust much more quickly, which leads to deeper relationships. We are selling technology, not leads, which is also very interesting. This is really important because when you sell leads, you commoditize people. And commoditizing people has never worked out in the history of this planet. So we wanted to stay away from that. As I said, we're leveraging the power of AI and the network effect, where we're able to learn a lot about what consumer preferences and advisor preferences are, what they're looking for, why they're looking for it, how long they've been looking for it, and so forth. And then we can feed this information back in to make our whole entire matching experience that much better. Here in the States, if you're listening, we don't have to register with the SEC because of our model, and we're able to do this at a much lower cost than all of the other quote unquote solutions that are out there. So what is the opportunity? I think here, if we're talking about the future of financial advice and how technology can actually impact it and make it better, What I love, and I didn't quote this term, one of my friends, Adam Holt, did, but at the end of the day, we can use AI, artificial intelligence, to enhance advisor intelligence, AI. And this is really, really cool. We wear a lot of hats as advisors. We have to do a lot of different things, as I'm sure you all know. And if we leverage technology correctly, we can actually speed up business processes. There's a lot of things that have to happen, a lot of back office things that have to happen, things that have to get done, whether it's running reports, scheduling, doing analysis on financial products or services and so forth, building portfolios, building financial plans and so forth. A lot of these things still need to get done. Even or just the fun stuff like filing and there's a long list of things we don't want to really have to do, but they have to get done. So we can use technology to try and automate and speed a lot of these things up. We can also use it to actually learn a lot more about customer preferences at scale. Ultimately, we serve the client, so we have to know as much about them as possible, and we can use AI to actually do that. We can also use it to increase client engagement. Instead of just sitting there like we have done many times, I've done this many times, and you have this long report that you've printed out and you were just sharing, and it's really more of a one-sided conversation. It's really important to use technology that gets the consumer to engage, where they're really actually excited to use the tool. And what happens when they engage? We have deeper conversations. And if we've already connected on these deeper levels and we have similar interests, we've already established rapport and some more trust. Now these conversations become so much more meaningful, and we're able as advisors to get to the root of what is driving a client, what are their hopes, dreams, and goals, which gives us the best information possible to be the best advisor to them possible. Ultimately helps us spend more time with our clients, and that's what we want to be doing. So what are the impacts? Well, ultimately, we're able to help people through technology learn and earn more from their customers. And I'll kind of wrap it up with this here, is that I think at the end of the day, what's really important and where I see the future of financial advice headed is that we have to continue putting the human at the center of the equation and leveraging technology to enhance that human connection instead of replace it. There's a lot of talk about, is AI going to take over, or is the human financial advisor gone? I don't think so. I think if anything, the value of human guidance and advice is only going to become more valuable and more important as we move forward into the future of this great industry. And this is where I think you really have to be aware of what's going on, is that we want to be able to meet our clients' needs and their personalization and customization requirements. We want to be able to do that. And our technology, for example, is just one of many that is doing this. We want to be able to also empower advisors to spend more time working with their clients instead of looking for new clients. I think this is really, really important. Technology can help us do this. Technology is also going to help us learn so much more about our customers, about our clients, about the advisors as well. This is equally important, ultimately to help drive innovation. If a large company that serves consumers and has a large community of advisors knows more about consumer preferences, personality, traits, things they're looking for in an advisor, but also knows more about the demographics of their advisor and so forth. Now they have really valuable information that can help drive marketing campaigns, product design, and so forth. A lot of really great things here. And in doing so, we're actually able to just diversify and broaden the distribution, footprints in the process. Ultimately, this enhances the relationship for everybody, and we're using technology to do it. So at the end of the day, where do I see the future? The future, well, it's actually here today. And technology is not going anywhere. But I think what if I were brand new to this, what I would take away is let's leverage technology and let's embrace it and use it to have closer and deeper relationships with our customers, while also using it to automate and speed up all the things that still have to get done as financial professionals. And in doing so, we have this beautiful thing that happens where we have deeper relationships, more profitable relationships with our clients. We're more scalable, we're more efficient, and we're doing what we want to do as advisors and ultimately helping our communities get that much better. And again, we talked about all the good things that happen when people make great financial decisions. Technology is helping us do that by letting advisors talk to their clients that much more and have those deeper conversations. So with that, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a real pleasure to be with you all for this conference. Really exciting. I love what Momentum is doing for us and putting on for all of us on a global scale, really. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about me or the work that we're doing, or even just join our newsletter, feel free to shoot me an email, go to our website, or just scan the QR code right there, and you'll be able to jump right into our website. I want to thank you all again very much, and please reach out if you have any questions or would like to chat further. Sending positive vibes your way. Bye-bye.